Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. The laughter was too loud for a Sunday brunch. Wine glasses clinked, sunlight spilled across the table, and the scent of grilled chicken drifted from the patio. My cheeks ached from smiling, though inside, I felt something cold and uneasy twist in my chest. Started as a joke. It always does. God, Emma, how do you live with him? My best friend Laura teased, her hand brushing a stray crumb from her plate. You could do so much better. I mean, look at Daniel. He's too quiet to even argue back. Everyone laughed, including me. It was supposed to be harmless. A way to fill the silence. I lifted my glass, pretending to enjoy the moment. Oh, I know, I said lightly. Sometimes I wonder if I should trade him in for an upgraded model. The laughter grew louder. Someone even clapped. I felt heat rise to my cheeks. But when I turned toward Daniel, expecting his polite, tight smile, I saw his jaw tense. His eyes, usually calm and unreadable, looked almost hollow. He leaned back in his chair, swirling the last of his wine before speaking. Funny thing, he said quietly, voice slicing through the noise. The upgraded model you're joking about already exists. You just don't know you've been replaced yet. The laughter stopped. The air seemed to vanish from the patio. Even the birds fell silent. I froze, unable to process the words. My fingers trembled slightly, still clutching the stem of my glass. Laura's expression faltered, confusion flickering into panic. What? I asked, my voice catching. Daniel, that's not funny. He smiled faintly, but it wasn't amusement. It was finality. No, it's not. The chair scraped harshly against the tiles as he stood and walked inside, leaving behind an echo that made my skin crawl. Everyone stared at me. No one dared to speak. Laura's eyes darted from the doorway to me, her lips parting as if to say something, but she didn't. I felt dizzy. My heart thudded unevenly as I forced a weak laugh. He's just being dramatic. You know how he is. But even as I said it, I could feel the lie cutting through my tongue like glass. When the guests left, the house fell into an unbearable silence. The smell of food lingered, cloying and sour. Daniel's glass still sat half empty on the table, a ring of condensation marking its place like a scar. I found him in our bedroom, sitting on the edge of the bed. He didn't look at me when I entered. Daniel, I said softly. What was that supposed to mean? He stared down at his hands. You think it's funny to humiliate me in front of everyone? It was a joke, I whispered. You know I didn't mean it. He looked up then, his eyes bloodshot, not from anger but exhaustion. You think I don't hear the things you say? To Laura. To your coworkers. To your sister. You've turned me into a punchline, Emma. I felt my chest tighten. That's not fair. You're twisting. Am I? His voice was low but steady. Tell me, when did you start sharing our private fights with her? When did you start telling her I wasn't enough for you? My throat burned. I wanted to deny it, to deflect, to say he was overreacting. But fragments of past conversations flashed in my mind. Late-night calls with Laura, wine-fueled rants about how cold he'd become, how distant he felt. I told her everything. She's my best friend, I said weakly. I just needed someone to talk to. He nodded slowly. And she gave you someone to talk to, didn't she? The way he said it made my stomach twist. What do you mean? He stood, pulling his phone from his pocket, and placed it in my hand. The screen was open to a series of messages. Laura's name glowed at the top. The most recent one read, I wish I could have been the one sitting next to you today instead of her. My blood ran cold. I scrolled up, my hands shaking. The messages were tender, intimate, painfully familiar. Their tone was unmistakable. Love, guilt, longing. Daniel. My voice cracked. How long? He didn't answer. He didn't have to. The silence was worse than any confession. I stumbled back, sitting on the edge of the bed. My vision blurred with tears I didn't want to shed. You and Laura? She was there, he said quietly. When you stopped being. When every word from you was a complaint, a comparison, a jab. I didn't plan it. But it happened. And I hated myself for it. I buried my face in my hands, choking back a sob. You could have told me. I tried, he said. But every time I did, you laughed it off. You made it a joke before I could make it serious. I looked up, searching for some trace of remorse or affection in his eyes. There was both and neither. The tears wouldn't stop. So that's it? You betray me and somehow it's my fault. No, he said softly. It's ours. His words hit harder than any accusation. The weight of mutual ruin settled between us, years of small cruelties, unspoken resentments, and sarcastic comments that had eroded what we once called love. That night he slept on the couch. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, feeling the ghost of his warmth beside me. Every laugh I'd shared with Laura now felt poisoned. Every memory of Daniel felt foreign. Around midnight I crept downstairs. He was awake, staring blankly at the dark TV screen. Where do we go from here? I asked. My voice was barely above a whisper. He turned slowly. I don't know. Maybe we stop pretending everything's fine. The quiet between us was unbearable. Finally he spoke again. I'm moving out tomorrow. My breath caught. Daniel, please. He stood, his face unreadable. Emma, sometimes the cruelest betrayal isn't sleeping with someone else. It's making the person you love feel invisible until they disappear. The words shattered me. He walked upstairs, leaving me standing there in the flickering glow of the television. In the weeks that followed, the house felt hollow. Laura stopped calling. Her silence said everything I needed to know. I deleted her number. Packed Daniel's things when he came to collect them. Tried to smile when he thanked me for not making it ugly. But inside I was breaking in quiet, unnoticeable ways. Every joke I'd ever made about him replayed in my mind, each one a dagger I'd laughed through. Every moment I dismissed his silence now echoed like punishment. The truth was brutal. We'd both betrayed each other. Him with another woman, me with 1,000 small humiliations. And maybe that was the worst part. It wasn't one sentence that ended it all. It was every one that came before it.